Today on Grumpy Man Reviews, we take a look at the Maisi or Maisi Ambarella A7 Super Full HD Smart Dash Cam. I'm glad it's not much longer because, to be honest, this review is going to take long enough as it is. So, as you're here, it either means you're in the market for a dash cam, specifically this particular model, you could just be curious as to what a dash cam does, or the latter, and the worst of these three, that you've already taken the plunge, purchased this exact model, and now it's doing random, unexplained things that even an experienced C++ computer coding engineer would struggle to fix. So why? What's wrong with it? Well, the question is, where do I start? First, it comes in a little brown box. The type of box that if you love spending your evening squashing little cardboard boxes down and plastic bottles into a recycling bin, then this thing will be right up your street. Needless to say, it's a bit minimalistic on the print, and if it was on the shelf in your local supermarket, chances are you just pass it by unknowingly. However, it's not like I feel ripped off to the tune of £70 for my hard-earned money for it, as obviously materialistic things like having a fancy printed box don't really attract me. But it's not about the packaging, it's all about the device. Not that I ever know one marketing manager would ever agree with that. So with this lackluster, plain and boring box, surely the device quality during the R&D phase has been focused on 100% and must be an amazing piece of kit. Well, sadly no. At best it's a useless camera, it's even worse whilst it's driving, and if it stays on your windscreen with the provided suction cup, you've done really well. But please don't let me put you off for a moment. With its sleek but cumbersome exterior, this dashcam serves only one purpose: to make all of the dashcams work and feel great by comparison. I mean, most of us will buy a dashcam for one sole reason: to provide our insurance companies with hard evidence that in the event of a claim, your claim is indisputable. However, even with the intended basic function of this camera, it fails to meet basic expectations. In my personal experience, multiple times has the camera failed to start, failed to continue recording, or even failed to stop recording when it's required. In a nutshell, and I shall try and explain why. So, as you turn the ignition on in your car, the power via your cigarette lighter socket comes alive, and it provides much sustenance in the form of current to your device, expecting in turn for the camera to start recording. However, sometimes it just can't be bothered. Maybe it's mail in it, maybe it thinks you're asking it to do some long overdue DIY. Whatever it is, either way, some days it just can't be arsed. So okay, let's say somehow it did start recording first time, and you're on a motorway driving to your parents. All of a sudden it just stops recording without warning or notice, so you'll never know. Finally you get to your destination only to find out that when that moron driver in the BMW, who made you so angry you started making it obvious you had a dash cam by pointing at it, accompanying it with a milking the cow gesture. That's what you finally get to your destination to review the footage, and you find that the screen is frozen in time, without a single recording to show for your efforts, leaving you reaching for the world's smallest reset button underneath it that while driving it's like threading a needle in a hurricane. Or even sometimes after you've parked and left the car, it continues to record until its internal battery is flatter than the proverbial pancake, again forcing your hand to reach for the minute reset button that Papa Smurf's little finger wouldn't even be able to operate. I'd thought that something directly related to the settings might have been causing this issue, but after trying every permutation of every available option known to mankind, I can confirm that nothing will help you here other than claiming a full refund. So now onto the specs. Apparently it records in Ultra HD. So I've taken some photos and comparison videos between two different cameras, and I'll move on to a test in a short while to prove otherwise, because I just feel it is an upscaled resolution corrected by an onboard software, nothing more. During my real-world test, even with another vehicle in a mere car's length just in front of the camera, you still struggle to read any number plates. I mean, this would, I would assume, be a basic function. If it's in the dark, the camera is almost next to useless of all aspects. You really struggle to even make out your own headlights. The camera, however, also offers various lane departure and headlight warnings, but these just serve as a distraction to the driver and only work on a perfectly straight road. Also, the camera does accept a micro SD card, but again you're going to need some great luck in finding one that's compatible with this device. Apparently the primary reason it has so many recording issues is due to an incompatible micro SD card. However, the manufacturer has no recommended memory cards, and I had tried almost 4 different major branded ones, all of which were not compatible with the camera. Yet all of these memory cards I tried in every other device tested worked fine first time. From Kindles to GoPros to various mobile phones, not one of them complained once. So in summary, if you're after an expensive dashcam that won't stay on the windscreen, doesn't record properly, requires you to take your hands off the steering wheel every 5 minutes, doesn't save its files properly, and doesn't like major brand SD cards, ignores every input you ask it to do, and just acts like a backseat driver when you're doing nothing out of the ordinary, then this must surely be the camera for you. If, however, you're stuck with it and ran out of time to return it, then it does serve as a fully functional paperweight. That said though, the GPS works well, however it requires a ridiculous additional USB module to be plugged into the side. Overall, in my opinion, stay clear as it's bloody awful. So thank you everyone for watching, and if you feel there's anything out there that you really like or really makes you angry, whether it's a product or a service, leave me a comment for your recommendations and I'll try to review it accordingly.